If you ever feel guilty for resting, if you ever feel guilty for taking a little nappy in the middle of the day, or skipping your workout for rest, or maybe just taking a day off from work, or saying no to additional projects because you know that you need physical, mental, and emotional rest. If you ever feel guilty for those things, you're going to want to keep listening. So, today on the Peaceful Plate podcast, I'm going to be talking about rest. I'm going to be talking about the importance of making peace with rest. I'm going to be talking about challenging diet culture and hustle culture, because the truth is both diet culture and hustle culture push the messages at us that rest is for the weak and that we shouldn't be doing it, which the truth is we need rest. We need a beautiful balance of rest and activity. So I want to chat about this a little bit, as I am myself coming out of a place of sickness. And I was in a place in which I'm still in a place in which I'm still very much needing rest. My nervous system, my body, my mind is really craving and needing rest. And so in the past, I definitely was in a place in which resting was something that was really hard for me to do. If I wasn't like basically down and out completely, like, so sick that I couldn't get up, then I would feel so guilty for resting. But that's not the case for me anymore. It's just like I know my body needs rest, and so I'm resting. And so some of the very practical ways I'm doing this, as I've had this week of sickness, is I'm getting a juicy amount of sleep, is like what I like to call it. So yeah, my sleep is a little broken. I'll wake up in a little bit of a coughing fit, but I'm making sure that I'm going to bed at a decent time. And the latest I can get up is 6:30, because I have things I have to do. So commitments and places we have to be. So I have to get up by 6:30, but I'm letting my self sleep to the max amount of time that I can. I'm not doing any structured exercise this week. I've taken a couple nature strolls when it was sunny, and that felt really good, but no structured exercise. I'm saying no to any additional projects or things asked of me. I am doing the commitments that I've already committed to. Some of them I've actually been able to take off my plate, but some things are just there, and that's okay. It's not with rest, it's not saying that we can't do anything. It's just being really mindful with how we can start to take things off our plate to be more supportive of having rest. And sometimes we do need to take everything off our plate for a day if we're really sick, or we're just really needing a full day of rest. But a lot of times we can incorporate rest within our day without taking everything off. So there's so many ways to bring rest in. But I do want to take just a quick moment to talk about diet culture and to talk about hustle culture, and how both of these things can essentially block our ability to rest. Or maybe we are kind of resting, but kind of not, because we feel guilty and it gets all confusing and fuzzy. So, diet culture is the system of beliefs that equates worth with the size of our body. So diet culture says we are more worthy the smaller body that we are in, which is a crock of shit. It's a complete lie. But this is a very strong message from diet culture, and we'll see it everywhere. We'll see it in magazines, we'll see it on TV ads, we'll see it plastered all over social media, we'll hear it in the way that people speak. So the issue here, well, there's a lot of issues there, but if we're talking specifically around rest, diet culture would say you can't skip that workout. You can't skip that workout. You can't modify that workout. You can't do less when it comes to exercise. We have to keep up. We have to blah blah blah. And that's the message from diet culture when we're trying to rest and recharge our body. We have this guilt around changing our workouts, or maybe just not doing them at all. We have this guilt that's coming from diet culture, which can make it really hard for us to fully rest and relax in that area. And then if we look through the lens of hustle culture, so maybe the diet culture thing doesn't relate for you. You're like, okay, like I understand what you're saying, but doesn't really relate for you. Well, there's also hustle culture coming at us. So hustle culture, it's the system of beliefs that equates our worth with productivity, how productive we are, how much we work, how much we push ourselves, how much money we make. It's all about doing and pushing and achieving. And this is really exhausting. And so, of course, if you see here, hustle culture really plays a role in our inability to rest with ease. Because when we try to rest, we have all of this coming at us from hustle culture and all of this internal guilt that we've internalized it from these messages, but now it's within us. The same with diet culture. Now it's kind of like just living within us. And so we just try to rest and give our body and our mind and our nervous system a break, but we feel so guilty. And there's something in us that just keeps saying, no, we can't, we shouldn't. And so that is all really exhausting. And I wanted to take just a brief moment to paint the picture of diet culture and hustle culture and the role that those two things play when it comes to us just being able to rest and to be able to be at ease. So if you've ever felt guilty around resting, that may be why. I'm not going to say that is why. There may be another reason, but those things may be why. So I know for me, diet culture and hustle culture definitely played a role for a really long time in my ability to take breaks from exercise, in my ability to turn down different things that were asked of me, in my ability to just do a little less when it came to working. I felt like somehow that was giving up when really it isn't. We all need rest. Our body and our nervous system is designed for rhythm. And when it comes to rest and activity, there's this beautiful flow that happens, right? So activity, that brings us into this sympathetic state, and that's really important. We want to be able to be alert. We want to be able to be engaged. We want to be able to be productive and get things done. But yes, while we need that, we also need the parasympathetic activation, the rest, the digest, the recovery, the place where our body can really heal. That's where we shift into that ventral vagal state. And we need a beautiful ebb and flow between the two. The issue arises when we get stuck in one. And so, really, honestly, in the world that we live in, we mostly find ourselves stuck in the sympathetic state, and we find ourselves stuck in a state of fight or flight. We're constantly putting out fires around us. We constantly feel on. We have to do, we have to achieve, we have to push harder, we have to do more. And I'm not saying goals are bad. Goals are really important. And again, it is important to have that sympathetic activation and to be in that place in which we can be productive. That's super important. But when we're stuck in that state and we feel guilty for shifting into the other very natural state, which is actually essential for healing, when we feel guilty resting and recharging and shifting into that grounded state, that's when the issue arises. And you're going to feel that in your nervous system. And so, all of that rambling to say, I challenge you to really work on healing your relationship with rest if it feels like a current struggle for you. If rest feels like a current struggle for you, I challenge you to really start to look at the ways that you're thinking about rest and can you reframe them? Maybe you find yourself thinking about rest as like a guilty pleasure or something it's indulgent, like we can only do it once in a while. And if that's the case, I really encourage you to try to look through this lens of neuroscience and understand that your nervous system every day needs a balance of sympathetic and parasympathetic. Every day, your nervous system needs this ebb and this flow between being engaged, but then also being able to rest and relax and recharge and recover. We need the ebb and flow. It's absolutely essential. And then also, if you find yourself in a season of sickness, which you probably at some point will, as I'm coming out of this sickness, we need additional support. We need additional rest, and we need to be able to do it without any guilt. We need to be able to give our body permission to find that restorative healing place. And so I hope this encourages you. Yeah, this has just been a message on my heart this week because I'm in a season of sickness and I didn't even know if I was going to record this. I very much was going with the flow with it. I was like, if I feel like recording, when I get up, I'll get up and I'll do a recording. And if not, then I'll just skip it this week, and that's totally cool. But I felt like recording. So I wanted to just chat about that diet culture, hustle culture, rest. I want to encourage you to invite rest into your day, invite rest into your weeks. Some seasons you'll need more rest. Some seasons you may need a little bit less rest. But the truth is, we do need to ebb and flow. And when we find ourselves stuck in a chronic state of sympathetic activation, trouble's going to arise. That's when we're going to see a lot of the stuff come up in our body that we don't necessarily like. So what for me, it always comes back to pain. If I'm not allowing myself to have that ebb and flow between, yes, activation of the sympathetic and getting stuff done, just like right now, right? I have this sympathetic activation right now. I am on, I am alert, I am talking, but I'm going to tell you, I'm definitely going to be making some time to rest today. In fact, I already have, and I'm going to be making more time to rest. So I lost my train of thought. But anyways, so we need that ebb and flow. We need every day to have some sympathetic activation and parasympathetic. And then some days you'll need more rest and some days you'll need less. And if you're in a season of sickness, you just got to really support and really give your body and nervous system the rest it needs. So that is my encouragement to you. I hope this is helpful. I hope that it helps you to start to reevaluate your relationship with rest if it is something that you feel some guilt around, or you find just those thoughts pop up like, oh, I shouldn't be resting. I hope this challenges you in a good way to be like, no, like I need rest. My body, my nervous system needs rest, and I'm not going to feel guilty for taking it. And so sleep in a little bit later if you can, take a little nappy in the afternoon, maybe play a little hooky from work if you can. Maybe just like 1 day or 2 days, right? If you're able to, and just allow your life to be juicy and sweet. Really allow it. If you find yourself working nonstop, what the heck is the point? What is the point? Allow your life to be juicy and sweet and support your nervous system in a way that you can actually enjoy your life. That is my message to you. So I truly hope that this very random, very all over the place little message is helpful for you. And we are on the Peaceful Plate podcast. And I don't even know if I said that. I might have not, but I'm saying it again. We are on the Peaceful Plate podcast, and I'm so thankful to have you here. And I will be back next week with another little message for you.